Hi guys, this is FK, and if you've been following this channel, you'll know that I'm all for AI boosting developer productivity. Yeah, in as much as a lot of AI tools, there's a lot of AI noise right now, but I really believe in the fact that AI can actually boost your productivity as a developer, help you to do things fast, help you to correct stuff, and just speed up the entire process of development and make it less frustrating. And one thing I've always wanted to try out, one thing I've always wanted to use AI to do is to write tests. Yeah, I do a lot of test content. I write a lot of content regarding test-driven development, CI/CD, continuous integration, and all stuff. And this is the very first time I'm going to be using AI to write tests. So I did not practice this the demo we're going to be doing today before this video, so we're just going to be enjoying this together. So in this video, we're going to be using AI, that's specifically ChatGPT. Yeah, we're going to be using ChatGPT to write tests. We're going to be using it to write unit tests for a simple Node.js API. So if that sounds exciting to you, let's get started. So let's begin. Here I have a simple Node.js API. This is the folder. We're inside the folder, or the project folder, simple Node API. Basic stuff inside, you have your node modules folder, you have your package.json and your package lock and server file. That's the entry point. And let's take a look at the code. Look at this code. Like I said, it's a very simple application. All the boilerplate stuff, cause, express app, body parser. But we're going to be this is what is going to be the main thing. That's these endpoints. We're going to be testing these two endpoints. Let me bump this up a little bit, yeah, so that you can see very well. So yeah, we have the root endpoint, which just sends back welcome to the API backend, and we have a to-dos endpoint, which is a post request. The root endpoint is a get request. So we have a to-dos endpoint, which is a post request, and it returns a collection of to-dos, which is basically an array with objects for different tasks. So the first task, script the video, shoot the video, edit the video. So this is just me writing out stuff I need to do. And it returns the to-dos as JSON and finalize everything with more boilerplate stuff, declaring the port and running the application. So we have this. Let's run it. Let's see what it does. Go back to the command line and say node server.js and says the app is running at port 1330. Let's take a look at the endpoints. If we go into Postman and say HTTP localhost 1330, if we there's a get request and target the root endpoint. If we send, we get welcome to the API backend down here as expected. And if we go to the to-dos endpoint /to-dos, and this time with a post request, hit send, we get the collection back. Let me see if I can draw this up. Yeah, so we get the collection back. Let's increase the font here, pull this back. Okay, this doesn't go back. So yeah, we have our to-dos returned. So we have these two endpoints, and we're going to be testing them. We're going to be testing these two endpoints, and we're going to be employing ChatGPT to do that for us. We're not going to be writing the tests ourselves. In fact, we're not going to assume any kind of test infrastructure. We're just going to tell ChatGPT we need to write tests for our Node.js endpoints. So let's go to ChatGPT. This tab is currently on GPT-4, but I'm going to go to GPT 3.5 since that is most common. Everybody has access to GPT 3.5. So let's begin. Let's tell ChatGPT. Let me pull this aside a little bit. Yeah, so I can see the screen. Okay, let's ask ChatGPT to write test for our endpoint. Let's go to the code. So once test these endpoints, I'm just going to copy the first one and tell ChatGPT to write a test for this. So we say write unit tests for this Node.js endpoint. Shift enter, go to paste in the endpoint, and let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, ChatGPT going to work. So it tells us, it gives us this code which uses chai and mocha with Chai and Mocha. Sure, here are some example unit tests you could write using popular test frameworks like Chai and Mocha for giving Node.js endpoint. And this is all cool, this is all nice. Let's but before that, I prefer to use Jest. I don't really use Chai and Mocha, so I prefer to use Jest. So let's see if ChatGPT can convert this all test specifications to Jest. Let's say use Jest framework instead. Yeah, use the Jest framework instead. Okay, blah 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 blah. Install Jest, install that, do this, do that. So yeah, this kind of looks cleaner if you agree. So it tells us to install Jest globals, super test. Yeah, I kind of suspected it was going to tell us to bring in super test because we're testing an API and we're using Jest. So yeah, so we're going to bring in Jest, Jest globals and super tests. Yeah, so let's just follow the instructions. Copy the code. Go to the command line. Just going to open a new tab for this. Paste this in to install all the dependencies. Bam badadum, bim badadum. So while we wait for that, let's just continue checking out the code. So here we have the text code. It tells us we need to create a test file called app.test.js to write our tests. So let's go ahead and create that in VS Code. Come back, new file, app.tests.js. So let's save that. So we have our test file, and let's go into ChatGPT. Our dependencies should be done by now, I believe. Oh, still going. Interesting. Yeah, that's a lot of packages though. Now that I clicked on this, it seems to be running faster. It seems to be running faster when I clicked on the command line. We're just waiting for attention. Or seeking for attention. So yeah, the code tells us we need to require super tests, and we need to require the app. That's import the Express app, and yeah, we need to import the Express app and use a describe statement. Oh, now we don't, our code doesn't explicitly export the app. It just uses the app straight on. So why don't we tell it that our app is declared in our server.js, so we won't be able to have that app export. So let's say can you write this test for a entry file where the Express app is not explicitly exported, or let's say imported. Yeah, because it needs to be exported to be imported. So where is not explicitly imported? Oh, certainly if your Express app is not okay, we can require. Oh, interesting. That's okay. Let's see if this will work. If it doesn't work, we'll just have to export the app and import it in our server.js. So let's copy this. Copy. Go to our code. That's app.test.js. Now our entry file is not index. Let me wrap this view. Our entry file is not index, it's server. So let's say server. So assuming it exports the Express app. Import the entry file. Now this is where we need to, I don't think we can bypass this. So maybe we should just export the Express app. So I'm going to quickly do this. Let's say app.js. Let's say app.js, and everything for the Express app. We're just going to copy everything for the Express app and go and export it. Yeah, and export it. So we copy all this, take it out, go to app.js, paste it in, and say module.export app. Yeah, module.export app. Then we come to our server.js and we say const app equals require app. Okay, so we get app in, save the file. Yeah, so now we have our app. Now we have our app, and let's see if our Node.js application is still going to run like this. Let's see if it's still going to run. Let's test that everything is fine. So let's kill the application, run it again. It's running, so kind of signals that everything is fine. Let's test the endpoint once again. To-dos is fine. The root endpoint is fine also. So yeah, we can go on. So let's now we have the app exported, so we can actually use the previous code. So I'm just going to go back to the other code, and yeah, I'm going to import the Express app instance. Okay, yeah, let's copy this to our code and go to our text code, copy everything, replace it with this. Okay, then import our app. It's going to be app. Yeah, so we have app imported. Import your Express app instance. Yeah, we have our Express app instance imported. And now let's see, what does ChatGPT say we will do next. Yeah, add a script to our package.json. That's fine. So we go into package.json, and in the script section we had the test script. Now we're just going to remove this one. Oh, sorry about it. We're just going to remove this one and replace it with jest. Yeah, because that's what it tells us to do here. In scripts, test should point to jest. Okay. So now we have our tests set up. Let's go to the app. Should we be running the app while doing our test? Let me kill the app and see whether we can do that. Let's say npm run test. Yeah, that's the command we're running, right? Npm test. I think this both will do. Npm run test. So yep, starts running the test. No tests found. Interesting. Am I missing out something? Let's check the test file name once again. Maybe I skipped that. Okay, this is all the Mocha stuff. Okay, just then our test file is supposed to be app.test.js. Did I even? Oh, I said tests. Oh, sorry. Tests. So it's supposed to be app.test.js. Okay, that's fine. Save that. Points to whoever discovered that before it messed up. So let's clear this, and let's do npm test. So now it says tests, and yup, our first test failed. Interesting. Probably because our app was not running. So let's run our app again, and let's run that test again. Let's run the test again. Still failed. Should return 200, and it returned 404. So I think this might have to do with how we're exporting our app. Maybe it's not saying the route because it's saying 404. So let's go back to the app, and I'm just going to go back to server.js and copy these routes. Copy the routes and stick them back into app.js. Yeah, before the export. So we're going to declare the routes here because it seems like it's not saying the routes. Let me do a little bit of formatting here. I'll put it back. Okay. So let's try and test this once again. First, let's rerun the application. Make sure that everything is okay. So node server, yeah, still running. Everything's still running. Postman, everything's still running fine. Now let's run the test again. Let's run our test again. Let's clear. And once again, we'll go up and say npm test. Yeah, and now it's passed. So it actually had to do with how we're exporting our app. We're not exporting our app with the route, so it was not saying the route. So yeah, like I said, this video, we're going through it together. Yeah, there's no behind the scenes. So every mistake, we're going to be experiencing it together. So yeah, we've tested one route. And he wrote one test case, but there were actually two test statements there, which is is expected it to be 200, and they also expected that the text that comes from it should be welcome to the API backend. So yeah, those two tests passed. If we look at the command line, yeah, one test suit, one test. Expected that to be two though, because yeah, we had two expect statement. But let's now test the other endpoint. Yeah, let's give it the other endpoint and tell it to write a test for us. We'll go back to app.js. Copy that. Let's copy that. Now this is a post request, and it also returns a collection. So yeah, there'll be a lot to test here. So let's get that, and we go back to ChatGPT and tell it now write tests for this endpoint. Shift enter, paste the endpoint in, and hit go. Generating. Okay. Okay, I think it's still assuming that we didn't export our app. That's why it's still trying to mock it. So that's why it's doing this mock stuff, because the last thing we told it was that we didn't export our app. So do this with the app, with the Express app exported. See what it does. Yeah, now it requires index again, just like the other one. And is it done? Yeah. So one test suit still, and to expect statements, it still expects us to have 200, and expects the body to be equal to all the data that we have in our to-dos collection. And yeah, there's an await here for the asynchronous call. So yeah, we have our test. Now we don't need to copy these two again, because we already have it in our test file. So we can just copy the describe statement here. I don't know why the dictionary stuff keep popping up. We're just going to copy the describe statement here, copy it down. Okay. Yeah. Let's come from down and copy to the top. Scroll up. Yeah, get the describe statement. Copy it, and now go back to our test file. Go back to our test file and add the new test block for the second test. So yeah, we have that added, and now we can run the tests once again. We can run the test file once again. So we'll go back to this tab on the command line and say npm tests once again. Now it has two test suits, and yep, test suits passed, two tests passed, and oh yeah, the file is the test suit. The describe blocks are the tests. Yeah, sorry about that. So previously we had one test suit and one test. Now we have one test suit and two tests. So yeah, we have tests passing, everything going on correctly. If we bug our app, let's introduce a bug into our application. Let's say for the root endpoint, it's instead of saying welcome to the API backend, it just says welcome to the backend. But our tests expect that it should be welcome to the API backend. So our test is going to check us. Now somebody has introduced a bug by removing API from here. And now if we run the test, it's going to bounce. Yeah, it's going to bounce because it is expecting the root endpoint to say welcome to the API backend. Meanwhile, it says welcome to the backend. So yeah, that's our test check queue. And as you can see, we've been able to speed up all that test writing process with ChatGPT. Yeah, we've been able to use AI to get more productive and quickly write our tests. And if you have, let's say, 15 endpoints, you can dump everything into ChatGPT and it's going to generate tests for all those endpoints, as long as you have enough tokens. Yeah, as long as you have enough tokens to spend on that. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's we've used a very simple application so that things don't get really complicated, and you have been able to see how you can write tests using a tool. Yeah, you can write tests on your own, but you can speed up the test writing process and get over all the tedious nature of test-driven development by using an AI tool like ChatGPT. And that's the end of our video. If you have gained anything from this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. See you in another video.